Hi everyone, today is Saturday, October 18th, 2014. This is part of our secret section where we dive into the things that we've been investigating for the last few years, and hopefully you have gone over a lot of that evidence. Today we're going to look at some things about Saturn's cube. See right here, this cube that's seen all around? Even as the Kaaba over in Islam. Allah is the name of their God. Allah is not the name of the Father of Jesus Christ. Jehovah is God. Jehovah is the Father of Jesus Christ. Allah, by Islam's own standards, cannot have a son. He cannot beget anything, and he has no son. Literally, that is the moniker for Allah. They might tell you that he's the name of God, but he's not the name of Jehovah. He's not the name of YHVH. Jesus Christ is the Son of God, risen from the dead. Allah has no son. Now we're going to go in here and show how this actually represents that type of vampiric entity that we've shown. And all of Islam is infected, and that it's not just ISIS rising up. It will be Russia, China, North Korea, the 10 nations that come against the USA and Israel at the end of the age in a great betrayal. All of the world gives its power unto this beast to create this great deception at the end of the age. But this box has been shown several other times. Even in this show here called The Strain, as I've been showing, that this thing is inside of there. Just like on the Hellraiser. See the little box, which represents Pandora's box? The pits of hell coming out. Just like him, bringing pain. Just like the Kaaba. Just like Islam is all about submission through there. Now in this Strain movie, they show this type of disease coming. Has anybody ever wondered, like, I wonder what's up with the people that actually survive the Ebola? In this scenario, in this show, if you've survived like Ebola, then you're infected. Even the survivors are basically the carriers of the disease and are basically walking drones for the entity that's inside of the box that controls all of his pawns. See all of his pawns feeding the box? Right there? Now in here they talk of this.
What was in the box?
What was in the box? See this box right here? And out came this type of vampiric entity. And it would actually spit things out of its mouth into people. Then the other people would be carrying the disease all around us. Well, we're going to show some of this and show how real this is. This is attached to that character named Legion also, as we've shown. So let's take a look at this trailer and then we'll dive into some more of the evidence.
Face the truth. The great game is over. I want you to watch it unfold.
This season on The Strain.
Barnes just released the 4 survivors.
It's not a CDC case anymore.
Disease is incubating. We need to shut down this airport so it doesn't spread.
As of now, you are no longer involved.
Nobody wants to deal with the truth.
You're still sick.
They're undergoing a metamorphosis. And when they come out the other side, there's something completely different.
What was in the box?
A thing of enormous power and terrible will.
He's here.
Are you saying this epidemic was intentional, that somebody planned this?
I would never hurt anybody.
Are you gonna murder everyone on that list of yours?
Yes.
We're not hunting human beings.
They're hunting us.
Get the gasoline.
The Strain. All new. Sundays at 10 on FX.
So you can see it's all about that box through there. Just as this. Just like opening up and releasing this Islam basic group right here. With their box and all the minions coming out. And then, as I keep showing, even when I show these things, a lot of people don't realize that it's 10 nations. You would not believe how many comments they go, well, how can ISIS take over the world? I'm like, it's not just ISIS. It's 10 nations. You have to remember that when you talk to people about the Bible, even if you were in church and people say that they've read the Bible all their lives, you have to realize that basically they haven't. That nobody knows what's coming. Not a small percentage. Nobody. That 99.9% out of the people have never even read or remember this simple part of Revelation 17:17. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. This beast rises up, and it has its time. And 10 nations come together, 10 kings come together to do all of this at the end, controlled by this beast. Don't forget, nobody knows this stuff. Nobody. You can go ask your preacher. You can probably walk into church and ask your preacher if this is in the Bible, and he probably won't know it. Literally. That's how, preachers mostly do not preach the end times. They all preach back here. We need this too. We need the preachers to do what they're doing. But the preachers are going to teach the first 4 books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and tell you that Jesus is coming and to trust in him. They're not trying to break down the mysteries of the end times and such. And that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be spreading the gospel. And then all of us together are supposed to research the end times and figure this out with the evidence that's all around us. Just as God promised at the end of days, things would be basically easy to notice if you look all around. So we can see that they're coming with that box. Now I wanted to show right here on this glyph that we've broken down before. I've broken down these writings up here too, and most of them are even just images. But up here, this whole glyph maps the 5th age of the Bible coming. See this here? The 5th age? And up at the top, it shows this thing about this entity spitting that stuff out of its mouth. See this here? And they have the mark of the beast gun. Then they start doing this little chip in the forehead and start making people worship the image of the beast. All right here. See that? Perfect. There it is right there. Just like that there. This is Washington, D.C., and you can see the guy coming out of the box. Right here. See him? With that new type of Eucharist as we've shown, which matches Daniel 8 when they come out with that new type of Eucharist through there. Just as we showed right here. See this new Eucharist with this entity coming down for the 5th age with the key to open the abyss? All right here. There he is. Let's show this quickly over in England. This is London right here, England. You can actually see right in front of you the dog, the eagle rising, and that guy coming, ready to spit that stuff out of his mouth and start doing the mark of the beast. Right here. Easily. Right in front of you right now. We're going to show him in a second. Right now I wanted to end up showing that we have to remember we're chasing this guy. He's even shown in this movie Storm of the Century coming. And he's shown like this, Andre Lenoge, representing Legion. And he has this cane, which is like a magic wand, and it has the dog on it. As I've shown, we have to get above the dog star Sirius. This guy is like considered the left hand of God. He can do things with the dog star, like with magic, literally. That's how this guy does these things. They're like the false prophet or the Antichrist or one of the beasts. He's able to bring fire down from heaven even. And he's able to do like magic with this cane, which represents part of the dog. We have to get above all of that. He's right here. Here he is. There he is, Ipswich. See right here? This witch, Ipswich. There he is. There's the phoenix rising as we shown. See the phoenix rising? Russia rising up in the time of the red. All of Britain is known as Esau and Edom. This is part of the red in the time of Esau rising. And you can see right there, it represents like witches and vampires on this red side when this phoenix flies. And then he has like the dog here, which he can do things with, just like with the cane, as we showed before. But you see this here? This represents the rapture leaving too. And then he is here. As he gets here, this leaves. And the time of the dog is over at this point. We're going to show this. Remember, he's coming down and goes through the dog. We've shown it here on the original Mayan calendar. For years I kept saying there was no December 21st date on here. They were doing that to discredit all of these. This shows the little horn of the Bible coming, and it shows him coming right here. See him with his hat and his hair? And he goes through this dog, and then he's on the earth. The dog's time is over. The phoenix rises. The wheel of the great tribulation comes. See the head wound happening to this Roman, like when the church gets hit by something, and the little horn rises up. There it is, perfect, right in front of you, right there. Look at that. Perfect by every single line, matching everything we've been showing. Now let's go over to Kansas City, where the Kansas City Royals are going to now be in the World Series against San Francisco. And all they keep talking about in the news now is the great earthquake that happened when San Francisco was in a World Series nearly 20 years ago, or 25 years ago. So let's go take a look at that. Are we nearing the time of the great earthquake that begins the end? Let's go look at Kansas City. This is Kansas City right here. And for those that don't know it, I have a second channel. I can only do videos up to 15 minutes on this original The Grox 1 channel, but on my spare channel called The Grox 2, I can do longer videos. Like here, I did this one yesterday of 23 minutes, showing about the black goo symbolism coming, which this entity uses. But please come over to this channel and subscribe to this to see the longer videos through here. Now right here in Kansas City, it's split in half. I wanted to show this. You have Kansas and then Missouri, just like misery. We're going to show on this side of Kansas City, see how it's split right in half? On this side over here shows the dog. This side is Kansas, this side is misery, and then independence, as we've shown. But right over here you can actually see in Kansas the dog. See the dog? Now the dog has gone on top. As we showed over there, as the guy falls, this represents the phoenix rising. Jesus Christ will be sitting on top of the throne, above everything, judging the world. And the souls that go to the guillotines will be going up here, and Jesus will be collecting them. When I finish them, you will see Jesus right up here, and this shows a 4 for the end of the 4th age. But then down here is the kicker. Right here is the stadium, right here, for the Kansas City Royals and for the Kansas City Chiefs, as we shown about that Indian rising up, remember? Here's the vampire. This is not easy to see. He's spitting that stuff out of his mouth with that little pirate hat, just as we've been showing. Just like that right there. There he is. Just like in this thing here called the strain. That guy. Spitting stuff out of his mouth into the people. See here? See that thing coming out of the mouth? And then they have these little worms that infect the people, just like a worm inside of an apple. Just like what's going to be inside of here. There he is. And he's actually doing the mark of the beast. This is not an easy one to see. This is one of the harder ones. And he's doing that thing with the visor, just as I showed in that last video. This guy right here. This is the full pick. See him spitting this stuff out? They put that visor on the person. They're making them eat that new Eucharist, and they're getting the mark of the beast. Verifying this glyph again. See the animal right here with the visor on now? They're putting the little chip in the head, and they're closing the mouth and then making the people worship the image of the beast. All right here. Perfect. Verified. Just as in that TV show, that black goo that turns people into something like him. It's not easy to see. It's not supposed to be. I mean, this is even with north, going north, and people looking at the map all the time. There he is. Maybe it's better just like that. Confess with your mouth, the Lord is Jesus. Believe in your heart, God hath risen him from the dead, and you'll be saved. Hallelujah. As a detective, just see this first. See the dog. Once you verify that, now everything's verified. You see this here. So now you know that this is here. If you can see a little bit of it, then you know that the rest of it is right there, especially with all the other evidence we've been showing. Confess with your mouth, the Lord is Jesus. Believe in your heart, God hath risen him from the dead, and you'll be saved. Hallelujah. May God have mercy on us all.